So why don't we start by introducing yourself, your role, and how long you've been here at SDI.
Okay, my name's Jackie Quattrone. I'm a purchasing manager in the purchasing department. I've been with SDI for 10 years now.
I was just totally
So
joking.
I think essentially I've grown up here in more ways than one, actually.
Right? Yeah, you do. You grow up there, like you learn a lot. So thinking back to Jackie 10 years ago, what attracted you to SDI?
I had a couple of friends actually that worked here and they're like, you should come work here. And I'm like, well, what do you do? They're like, MRO. What is MRO? I literally had no idea that the industry or this niche even existed at the time until I went in for an interview and I came in. I got hired as a client care specialist. That was my first position at SDI. And
You've
that's when
had,
I started to kind of learn about what is MRO.
I mean, and so 10 years later, I mean, you're an industry subject matter expert in MRO supply chain. What's been your biggest surprise since joining?
I didn't realize how much of a people business that we are. I, in terms of the business itself, we're really, really process oriented, but there's such a human side to our business as well. And I know that if I keep that in the forefront of my mind, it really just motivates me and helps me remember how important what we do really is in the grand scheme of things for all of our customers.
That's true. And the past year has been challenging, to say the least. And as you reflect on the pandemic, I mean, can you talk a little bit about who your client is and how you've learned during the process of the pandemic, to keep that in the forefront, that human aspect that you just spoke about?
Sure. So the client that I work with primarily is a large global pharmaceutical company with plants and offices all around the world, from Europe, the United States. But the site that I work with primarily is in the Chicago area. So in terms of the pandemic, they were involved in a lot of research and, development as far as vaccination, antiviral drugs. There was a lot of moving parts throughout the whole pandemic. And then that coupled with social distancing, and we still needed to travel to visit the client, it, it could seem complicated to most people, but I think just knowing what their business entails is such a motivator. Knowing that they're directly involved not only in research and development as far as COVID-19 goes, but also just what they do on a day-to-day basis. Their business in general is so critical to so many people.
Right. And so that makes your job as managing the purchasing for them for their MRO supply chain very essential. I mean, obviously, they can't do what they do if the supply chain fails them, if they don't get the parts that they need to keep their plants operating. So thank you so much for continuing to do that. I know it's been a challenge, especially with traveling and trying to keep your family safe. Aside from pandemic related challenges, have there been any challenges at SDI that you've had to overcome that you can recall, how you overcame it, that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I think that, being with SDI for as long as I have been there, we've obviously gained a lot of new clients. And I think that with new clients, there comes, I want to talk about the people aspect of the business again, right? Is we go in and we think about it in terms of processes a lot of times, but like I said, there's so much human interaction that goes along with the integration of SDI within any business, any one of our new customers. So I think it's a lot of learning how to read people, different personalities, different experiences, and just learning how to develop, really how to become like a people person and overcoming that. And then, having those tools in my belt for the next time we have a new customer that comes along. I have the skills I need to be an advocate for them and give them the best customer experience possible.
Would you say that you're an extroverted personality to begin with, or was this um, working with people and helping them solve problems like that? Was that something you really had to work at because you were introverted, maybe?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest. I do have a bit of an extroverted side, but I also do have a bit of an introverted side. So I think that having to pick up the phone and visit customers and talk to suppliers and talk to other people that I work with on a day-to-day basis really kind of pushed me to be more extroverted and be more confident in my knowledge in our business and my experience in our business as well.
Yeah, it comes a point where, like, you've been in this business for 10 years, you know what you're talking about now, right? You can have that confidence and feel like you're presenting the best solution to the client. So that's great. Is there something SDI, as you think back on your tenure here, that you're really proud, an accomplishment that you're really proud of?
Being promoted quite a few times and getting recognized for exceptional service to probably all the clients that I've ever worked with since I've been here at SDI. I'm really proud of that. It's really important for me to help any one of our customers, even if I don't work with a customer on a daily basis. If somebody needs my help, I'm there. That's just me. That's my nature. And in our business and our company, there's always some sort of challenge that has to be met. I think every day there's something, whether it be big or small, there's always some sort of challenge that has to be overcome. So just having the freedom and autonomy to be able to be creative in my problem solving and then collaborating with other people in the business, all levels. That's what I love the most about our business is everyone interacts from the CEO all the way down to, purchasing managers like myself. So building those relationships is, I'm super proud of that.
Nice. I mean, it is a very collaborative type of an environment. I agree. I've experienced that as well. Um, so, how do you know what you do makes a difference to the customer? I mean, I mean, you get to interact with them directly, right?
Yeah, I do. Well, not only have I been told that by customers, by, our members of our senior leadership team, other members of management within the company. When I get an email from a customer that says you just saved my line, there's no greater feeling. Or, we get a late night phone call or an email or something comes across and it's really, really important for us to get through this challenge for our customers so they can deliver to their customer. So things like that and that feedback is really what I know I'm making a difference. And if I think about it in terms of some of our customers are pharmaceutical and they deliver life-saving medication or supplements that, a large majority of the US population uses, or protective gear, material needed to make PPE during the pandemic. There's so many different things that I can think about, that our customers do that we're a vital part of producing.
I mean, would you say that because our customers are essential and we're enabling that, is that the most rewarding part of your job, being able to enable essential
Yeah.
infrastructure like that?
Yes. And the experience of the pandemic has only highlighted that for me personally.
Yeah, yeah. It really puts things into perspective. Um, Even though we've been in the middle of this supply chain and crisis and this pandemic, SDI is growing a lot. And you see it every day. The emails coming through from HR welcoming this new hire, welcoming that new hire. Is there any advice that you would give to new hires coming on board on how to navigate through SDI, or any of your experiences, words of wisdom that you would
Buckle
impart on
up.
us?
Just buckle up. No, I think having a positive attitude, being a team player, being open to different solutions. I mean, we can be creative here. That's the nice part about our business too. And because we're not quite that big yet, we're getting there, but we're not quite that big yet. We have that flexibility and that agility where we can come up with some really really innovative stuff. So I think that, and just having a little bit of grit. I think to be in this industry, you have to have a certain type of personality. I think you have to be tough, but I think you have to have a good sense of humor to be able to get through the harder days that are going to eventually happen, because that's just life and business in general.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie Quattrone, for your time today. And thank you for your service to the company and to, our economy overall, just keeping us going.
My pleasure and an honor.